And it has begun, my friends. Donald Trump has launched his third bid for the White House in an electrifying speech delivered last night from Mar-a-Lago. And I can already see so many neocons and establishment media shills weeping and crying and trying every trick in the book. But that garbage does not work on me. Donald Trump is a man with a lot of problems, and there are certainly some negatives to his campaign that we can talk about. But I listened to a speech. I don't care what you think, Republicans or establishment journalists. Certainly, I don't care what the corporate press and the Democrats have to say about Donald Trump, which, let's be honest, basically the same thing. The Daily Wire, with the headline, Trump launches third bid for White House. Well, okay. It's really funny, isn't it? The Daily Wire, these are not the staunchest of Trump supporters. Ben Shapiro was not a big fan of Trump early on. I believe we had Matt Walsh saying DeSantis is the right choice, and even Candace Owens saying that Donald Trump was rude to her. So I hear. But the Daily Wire still has the functional brain of an institution to simply give you the fact. And that's simply put, that Trump has launched his third bid for the White House. But of course, my friends, you're all here to see the seethe, aren't you? Here we go. We got everything. Daily Mail. He's the only Republican who can lose. GOP leaders, donors, and even his former chief of staff slammed Trump's decision to run in 2024, saying voters have rejected crazy and it's time for a change after party's woeful midterm performance. They're lying to you, by the way. But of course, we should just start with the good old NBC News. Oh, I love this one. Trump, whose lies about the 2020 election inspired an insurrection, announces third White House bid. Oh, I love it. Donald Trump did not bring up in his announcement speech 2020 garbled nonsense that I'm no fan of. I know many of Trump's supporters are very much in line behind this messaging and the fraud narrative and stuff. I don't like it. It doesn't speak to me. You don't have to agree with me. By all means, in fact, you can disagree with me in comment, and many of you do, and I respect it. That's fine. But you know what I have to say about Donald Trump right now is that he gave a speech and he did what I asked for, what I hoped for. Not that he owes me anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what I want to see. And you know what I really liked was when Donald Trump said that he wants to strengthen the family. That was kind of a key point that I made early on during Timcast IRL. I said, if Donald Trump comes out to announce his bid for the White House and he says, a very unfair thing happened to me in 2020, and I'm going to be like, ugh. He made a snarky joke. A little bit. Not really. But like a passive comment that was about a second long, and it was a laugh. He actually made it funny. But overwhelmingly, he just talked about the problems of this country, what he had accomplished, and what he hopes to accomplish again. And I dig it. Notably, beginning of IRL, I said, I want to hear Donald Trump talk about making America great again. I don't want to hear him talk about how it was unfair or all that other stuff. I get it. But what can you do for me? I said, I want to hear Donald Trump tell a story about a family where the dad's sitting in a rocking chair reading the newspaper and mom comes out with a pitcher of sun tea and the kids are playing in the yard with Rex or whatever you name your dog. I don't know. I don't mean that literally. And the way I described it before is, for all the leftists, I want Trump to describe a mixed race family coming out and enjoying a nice, gentle evening, having a wholesome dinner. Why? Well, the mixed race thing, that's just for the left. You guys, look, we're not talking about a traditional, like, white ethnocentric, like they try to claim, many on the right are talking about. No, I'm talking about the values. And I don't care the race or anything like that. I want to hear about families succeeding. I want to hear about dad finding a good job. I want to hear about mom being able to find good work, a good job, or being happy raising her kids because it's possible when dad is able to get a good paying job. I want to hear about the working class, and Donald Trump brought that up. Now, of course, what we're going to start hearing, and the reason I bring up the for the left thing, I mean, he's going to come out and they're going to call him a white supremacist and a racist and all this other stupid nonsense. And lo, it has already begun. Here's what I want to do We do this. Click the link in the description below and pick up your Kamagamaga a t-shirt if you want to support us. And I just had people saying, Tim, you got to promote this Trump going Super Saiyan shirt because people think it's really funny. And I'm like, okay, for sure. I mean, it supports us. And for those that aren't familiar, Kamehameha was from the anime Dragon Ball Z, when Goku, the main character, fires a blast of energy from his palms or whatever. So I was using this artificial intelligence, and I said an anime photo of Donald Trump going Super Saiyan, and I was so impressed that it generated that. That's amazing. So then we turned it into a t-shirt. If you want to pick it up, link will be in the description below. But now's the time, my friends. And let me say a few things. Donald Trump is an imperfect man. Donald Trump brought on bad people when he got elected the first time. Oh, you know it. Took money from Sheldon Adelson, and then I guess the reporting was in order to sort of pay back that donation, he brought on John Bolton, who's a warmonger, who then let's just keep it calm, who then betrayed Donald Trump, smearing him. That was a big mistake, and I think Trump has learned his lesson. Trump came out the other day and said that he wants the death penalty for drug dealers. Also, that is shocking and very, very bad. Donald Trump also said to lock up journalists. Very, very, very bad. So, I have never been the guy to come out and be like, woo, MAGA Trump, haha, I'm going to vote for him no matter what. I am interested in seeing Trump in a primary with Ron DeSantis because I think it would be good for both of them. It's weird that people are like, DeSantis, no, Trump, and they're all fighting. And I'm like, y'all shouldn't be fighting. Y'all should be like, all right, let's see it, guys. Like, if Donald Trump cannot win against Ron DeSantis, he doesn't deserve to. And if Ron DeSantis cannot stand up to the gravitas of Trump, then he does not deserve to. That's it. Plain and simple. It's good. This is going to be amazing. Look, Ron DeSantis, he's got military experience. He's young. He's got great policy behind him. He's been very successful for Florida, but just Florida. Donald Trump didn't hold any other office until he became president, but he's got a good track record behind him with the United States. Certainly better than Joe Biden. Ron DeSantis is going to have to stand up to Trump, who is an imposing figure with quick wit. Maybe Trump's out of the game. Who knows? We'll see. And that's what we need to. Donald Trump will have to stand up against let's just say, the decorum, I suppose, of Ron DeSantis. Trump is a brash guy. He says things that are funny. He fights back, and people like it. So we will see. It needs to be played out in a primary, and that's it. Now, here's what they're going to try and lie to you about. Take a look at this from the Daily Beast. How ticket-splitting vibes voters blocked the red wave. That is a lie. They're lying to you, my friends. You can sense in the country there's some backlash to the MAGA. David Cohen, a professor at the University of Akron, said, lie. Now, hold on. Sort of. We know that there are a lot of people who don't like Donald Trump, and the media used that to rally people against him. Definitely that will play a role. However, Trump also does get the vote out. The GOP had 5 million more votes in the midterm. 5 million. There's two big factors that were damaging to the Republicans in the midterms. First of all, they won the House. Nancy Pelosi is fired. At 217, the Republicans right now on Reuters are break even in the middle. However, it's already been called by the decision desk that there's no way the Democrats are going to win some of the remaining seats. And the Republicans have taken the House. Nancy Pelosi is out, and it looks like it's going to be Kevin McCarthy. Blech. Yeah, not the biggest fan of that. But let's talk about what happened. First of all, Florida got deep red, became a reliable red state. Florida is where everyone fled to because of these bad COVID policies. So you take a couple hundred people from every blue jurisdiction, every blue district, and move them to Florida, and Florida goes deep red. So when they try and argue that Ron DeSantis got this 20-point lead simply because he was the best, not true. Now, hold on there a minute. I'm a big DeSantis fan. I think he did a great job. His policy was good. And his success is largely due to his good leadership. However, a large portion of the votes he got were from moderate and Republican refugees from other states. New York went deeper red. I mean, it still went blue, don't get me wrong, but every county shifted to the right. Here's the problem for New York. Lee Zeldin, let's pull this up here. Click governor. Lee Zeldin lost by about 330,000 votes. 550,000 people fled Manhattan alone. How many Republican or independent individuals fled New York, thus securing Democrat leadership? It is what it is. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or that people shouldn't have left. No, not at all. Even places like Arizona, unfortunately, saw people who are more conservative minded say, I don't want to be here, move to Texas or something like that. And Californians moved to Arizona because California was trash. Yep. That's the spread of the blue authoritarian problem. But here's the reality. 5 million more votes. You want to argue that Donald Trump dragged the Republican Party? Yeah, they got 5 million more votes in the popular vote. Sorry, that's just not true. And they won the House. What they're trying to do is make you believe that Trump is a drag on the party because they are desperate to get rid of him. I don't blame some of the former Trump people, even Donald Trump's daughter. It is not an easy battle. And I'm not saying Trump is the right guy. Not at all. I do not like when they lie about Donald Trump. I do not like when they try to lie to win political power. And it is clear as day right now. They're coming out. They're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to smear, attack, and belittle. And you know what? In the end, it may just make Ron DeSantis win. I don't know Trump's full plan. I don't know if he's playing 4D chess. Dave Rubin made a really funny point when he came on IRL a couple days ago. He said, this is the longest game of 4D chess ever played. It's chess by mail. And I'm like, it's a good point. It's funny. What's Trump's greater plan? Well, it's not so much that he's playing one long game, but it's that there are a bunch of little games. Donald Trump is going to run. Donald Trump wants the Republicans to win. Donald Trump wants a lot of things. The media is going to dump everything they have into smearing him. Donald Trump is going to go after Ron DeSantis. Think about what happens, whether intentional or not. You can say Trump is a bloviating blowhard of limited intelligence, or you can say he's a genius, whatever you think. If Donald Trump runs and DeSantis runs, the media is going to focus fire everything against Donald Trump. Then Trump is going to bow out, assuming he does, or I shouldn't say bow out, but if the primary goes DeSantis, because there's polls saying DeSantis is winning, then the media is going to have little to say. They're going to be on Donald Trump's side. Yeah, they can't do that. If they go up against DeSantis after a primary that Trump loses, Trump will start agreeing with the media. And what are they going to do about that? You see, there's a conundrum here, and Trump is a master of the media. He knows how they operate. So we will see. I don't think Trump is playing 4D chess, but I do think that if Donald Trump goes into a primary with DeSantis, the media will start saying Trump is evil and Trump is a fascist. And they're going to have to either say, but so is Ron DeSantis. They're both bad. And then it's like, OK, so who are you trying to stop? If they say Trump must be stopped, but DeSantis is there, then what? Now, of course, they'll say they both are really, really bad. The Lincoln Project was smearing DeSantis. For some reason, people are claiming the Lincoln Project endorsed DeSantis. No, they didn't. They made a video mocking Trump using DeSantis, and then later came out and said DeSantis is just as bad and a protege. So we'll see. We'll see how they handle this. Ron DeSantis is good. But Milo Yiannopoulos, I think, was right. He made a really interesting point. It's fascinating. Milo came on the show last week and he said that when Daddy Trump gets his mojo back, he'll be unstoppable, or something to that effect. He said Ron DeSantis will not be able to go up against Trump. And it's interesting. I think he's right. I do. I like DeSantis for a lot of reasons more than Trump. I've said it a million times. I go back and forth. Ron DeSantis has the decorum. Ron DeSantis has military experience, and he's been a very, very effective leader. But when I think about DeSantis standing next to Trump, for one, he's a lot shorter. No, seriously, I mean, it's stupid, but it matters. Trump's going to run circles. Now, Ron DeSanctimonious is the worst name. What? What does it even mean? I think Dave was saying this. Ron's not sanctimonious. Trump is. So the name doesn't really work. He could have done better than that. That's why some people have made the joke about, or I have too, about Trump playing 4D chess. This is interesting. NBC News reports Ivanka skips Trump's 2024 announcement and says, I do not plan to be involved in politics. I don't blame her, man. People are insane. But I wonder, after the Trump's run, you know, you ended up with the media, celebrities, and even friends of Ivanka just attacking her and ripping her apart. And it's creepy. It's cult-like. Why do they hate Trump so much? You know, look, let me tell you the harsh reality. The United States doesn't just enter into war because they want to blow people up. You know, I often say that Barack Obama's like, too many kids, got to blow them up. The real reason is that the United States wants to be, they want this to be a unipolar world. They want to control and dominate, and they want the petrodollar to be the end all be all. So long as the world uses the dollar as the reserve currency, people in the United States get to live like kings and control everything. Slavery never ended, my friends. For one thing, the U.S. helped reinvigorate slavery in Libya. The slave trade's back, baby. But also the U.S. has long used cheap foreign labor, dirt wages, to get our goods made. I'm not a fan of that. I think that the American worker should be producing the T-shirts and our goods. So we should be manufacturing here at home. That means goods will be slightly more expensive. Yeah, so be it. But these people, Hillary Clinton, the establishment, they don't want to work. They want to rule with an iron fist. That means NATO expansion. That means war in the Middle East. That means smacking down China. It means that when they're engaged in conflict in Ukraine, it's not because some egotistical empire thing. It's because they want cheap energy. It's because they don't want Russia to have leverage over them. They want Europe to get cheap energy costs. They want Europe to expand. They don't want China to expand. Now, I can understand that. I just don't live in that world, I suppose. I do not view good leadership this way. Or I should say, I do not view leadership good, like this kind of leadership. I think the U.S. should be advancing technology, shoring up its borders, strengthening its jobs. And I think that this foreign policy of the existing establishment has been chaotic and destructive. They want the petrodollar to reign supreme, but that does not guarantee the U.S. succeeds in the long run. Short-term gains, long-term losses. That's what I see. But hey, what do I know? I don't have access to classified information. So the only thing I can really tell you is that if they don't justify what they do to people like me, then I'm not going to support that. And when Donald Trump comes out and says NATO should pay its fair share, we shouldn't be at war in the Middle East, our borders should be stronger, jobs should be back in this country, I say, I understand each and every one of those points. And lo, they may say, Tim Pool is too stupid to know what's good for him, the intelligence agencies. Well, that's too bad. Maybe you should actually make the case instead of going around and saying, fight for freedom in Ukraine. Maybe you could come out and say, people will die in Europe with extensive costs. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the issue. The issue is that Russia would gain influence. The issue is that they would expand their influence. Can't have that. They need to fall in line with our way of thinking. Can't have that. Can't have them deviating from that. How about this? I fully acknowledge I don't have access to the top secret information. I don't know what Russia and China fully plan for the world. But in this world, you have to actually state a case that makes sense to the American people for us to support it. Is that a disadvantage for you because Xi Jinping rules with an iron fist and can do whatever he wants? Yeah, that's tough. That's how the game is played. You want to be more like China? Fine, go be it. But I will reject that and resist that. Now, as for our good friend Donald Trump, I don't know. DeSantis gains ground on Trump in hypothetical matchup poll. Should be interesting. Ron DeSantis is Donald Trump with brains and without the drama, says the Financial Times. You know, I do agree. I think Ron DeSantis is very, very hard to go after. The media will try. It doesn't work that much. He does not have he doesn't have that profile. Donald Trump's an imposing figure. I'll tell you why Trump lost in 2020. I'll tell you why the midterms were harsh. Mail-in ballots. Now, first, people really don't like Donald Trump. That's a fact. And you can tell me all day and night, but dude, I will say it again for the millionth time. I know tons of people who just hate Trump. And no matter what you say to them, they don't listen. They don't have that for DeSantis. They don't know anything about him. That's an advantage. Mail-in voting. Trump announced we're going to change the election system. We're going to fix it. Only after you win. All that matters right now is that Republicans start their get out the vote efforts, their ballot harvesting efforts where it's legal. Start making sure that you collect every single ballot. And you know what? It's going to cost you more money. Good luck. You better start doing it now. In swing districts is the way to start. Because Democrats have been doing it, and it's helping them win. Now, some people have said it's not just mail-in voting, it's the rejection rates. Yeah, But you don't have to worry about that if mail-in voting is not a factor. For the time being, you'll have to. Republicans should be focused not on whether it's DeSantis versus Trump. They should be focused on whether or not people are getting out the vote. Here's the funny thing. In 2020, Donald Trump got 74 million votes. He ain't gone, baby. And now we're seeing 52 million votes in the midterm, more than Democrats. Republican turnout surpassed Democrats. That's a red wave. Not the victory wave they wanted, but the people turned up. And there was not a Republican ballot harvesting operation. So, Democrats won where they needed to, but they didn't get out the turnout. Republicans are motivated. Independents are siding with Trump. Don't believe the lies. If Republicans generate a mail-in voting system that rivals the Democrats, ballot harvesting and get out the vote operations, it will be a blowout victory for Republicans. Don't forget it. All right, let's see how things develop throughout the day. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.